so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those bullets.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, good evening, race fans, and we're here tonight, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and no, it's not raining here because we're on an iRacing platform, so I know today's race there was a lot of wildness happening at the beginning of it. The NASCAR probably shouldn't have started the race, but anyways. Nonetheless, looks like qualifying coming to an end, and Brian Macklin puts it on top pole here. We got 100 laps here, exciting. It says a 1 mile track, but it's one of them tracks that kind of deceiving. It really just doesn't look like a mile track.
Yeah, New Hampshire, the Magic Mile is what they call it. It kind of looks like two Martinsvilles put together, I guess.
Yeah.
Long straightaway, kind of sharp-ish.
It does resemble Martinsville, don't it?
But it don't got much banking, Joe. It's got 1 degree on the straightaways and varying from 2 to 7 in the turn, so it kind of is like Martinsville, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and that's kind of what, if you're looking at an overhead shot of this place, I mean, you're really right there. I mean, that's you know, kind of a given, kind of a, you know, Martinsville-ish style track, so to speak. So we'll see what these guys can handle. You know, you really have to slow down a lot in these turns. And you almost had to drive this place. You know, it's still, again, I call it a short track. I call anything a mile or less short track. So, hey, look, if you disagree with it, then, well, just disagree with it. But basically, you have to drive this place like a short track because you can't go ramming off into those turns wide open. There's not enough banking, so yeah, I mean, speed-wise, you might carry a lot down the straightaway, but you have to load up in those turns.
Yeah, you ain't got much banking to help you in there, so that's kind of why I hit on it a little bit, because banking can help you in one of these situations, but here you ain't got much. So we'll see how these guys traverse the track, kind of see where these guys like to roll. It looks like we're going to start rolling here in the next couple of seconds or so. It's kind of a thin-looking track, too. It's not super wide. I mean, the front stretch here, it's not.
Kind of tends to like a one groove after a while.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate everybody tuning in here. Like I said, we're live tonight here with the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series. Looking for a good PC? Check out the Ford Entertainment Group. Well, Jeffrey Ford over there, he'll get you hooked up. He specializes mostly in sim racing, PCs and whatnot, but he can pretty much build you anything. And if you're looking for some sim rig or sim equipment, definitely check him out too. They're at Ford Entertainment Group, FEGs. Tonight, New Hampshire. I call it a short track here, and I mean, basically, these guys got to be very careful. I think passing will be a tough thing here. We'll have to see how the race, plays out. But we always know here they run 100% fuel, and you always got that one guy that's going to push it. So basically, if they go over 50 laps, which I'm pretty sure they can with tires here, go well over 50 laps. With only 100 laps, I don't think fuel is going to be an issue. It's going to be the tires.
Yeah, I think so too. As that pace car drops down, and we're about to take this green here.
Yeah, it is. Pace car off. Like I said, here we go. Green flag racing here, New Hampshire style.
I'm right there with you too, Joe. As you were saying, I'm kind of expecting it to go one groove-esque racing, and that's where I think the passing here is going to be really difficult, because as you can see in these turns, you ain't got much banking, like you said. You just gotta figure out where you can work it really good and try and make it work early, because I think once everyone gets pretty much single file, it's going to be a tough task to really come through the field here.
Yeah, you see a good battle back here around about 7th place spot. That's going to put Kevin Brown, Steve Ritter, Tommy Ryan, Josh Parker and company back there, David Comstock and all. So they're still trying to, kind of get those cars single file. You see everybody else kind of single file getting spread out here, but looks like right there's around about with Josh Parker, David Comstock. They got a good little battle happening.
Yeah, and we usually, as Josh Parker just slides up right there, kind of gets where he wants to be. That middle-ish groove in the turns kind of looks like it's the place to be right now. Seems like pretty much where everybody is kind of wanting to go, right? And that's, I guess you could say, second lane or like the middle groove.
Last time I ran at this place, you're right. That's kind of where you want to be, that middle groove, and that leaves the inside groove open if a person wants to try to dive down in there, but it just normally won't stick. The car tends to want to just push up the track. You can see the darkness there on the track as riding along Steve Ritter. You can see where the darkness is, where the rubber's been laid down, and that's where just all the grip is on this track, and that's what kind of brings it to a one groove style track. And now what you'll see over the course of the run, again, like I say with tire wear, is guys that are better on the long run, you'll start seeing them, pick them off one by one, kind of like right here where we see Robert Gillenwater and Hollingsworth as he kind of peeked to the inside there, and that's like Mike Kelly there.
Yeah, these guys, I remember last week, these guys were going at it pretty hard, especially Mike Kelly. He was up there hooking and jabbing with those guys up front, so let's see if he can make some stuff happen, because I remember him being a pretty decent long-run car last week. And usually that's kind of what I think we see out of this guy, is we're getting a couple battles going on right here with Mike Kelly and some of these guys right here with him, but it looks like they're just going to single it out and take it easy for a little while.
Yeah, you see right there, Hollins, which just drove it in, and there's what I was talking about. The car went up high. Now, the one thing about it right there is when it went up high, they kind of get a little door-to-door action going on with Gillenwater, and so he was able to make that pass. But that's just a perfect example of That car just went tight, went straight up the track. So, and then you see Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell last week struggled a little bit. He, was up front, had a good qualifying, but then all of a sudden he kind of fell back. So, maybe we'll have to see here, see Mike Kelly. So around about this area is where you're kind of seeing guys making some passes.
Yeah, I think this is where we'll see a lot. I feel like turn 1 and 2 right here, just based off of what I've seen these first 7 laps or 6 laps, is turn 1 and 2 is kind of where it's really gonna get going. If you get a nice run off of 3 and 4, I feel like if you get some really good momentum coming off of that turn, you just sling it out of there. You can dive bomb that thing into turn 1 and kind of bully your way into that spot. That's kind of what I feel like I'm seeing a little bit here.
You see Hollinsworth right now just working over the back end of Glenn Campbell. He's been at that for the last couple laps. Just, again, you've got to set these turns up. You got to set the pass up at this place. It's not just, don't want to drive it down in there because he could drive right up into Glenn. Meanwhile, Brian Macklin's out front, not walked away from Justin Fuller, who had a good qualifying run. You got Doey Woods and Ryan Howard. Remember, Doey Woods last week had that wild interview, finishing in the top 3. And hey, right now he's kind of starting off where he left off last week. He said he wants to win some races.
He said he was coming, so he's definitely in the spot to make some of the things he said last week happen. So we'll see what he can do with that. But it looks like Josh Parker's climbing up a little bit. He was battling back about the 7th, 8th place spot, and here he is in 5th coming up. Got Ryan Howard in his sights and that Kit Kat machine in front of him. Yeah,
Josh Parker's one of those who, he'll creep up on you before you know it. By the end of this race, he'll be up front. He's just one of those guys that, he might not have the best qualifying session. Sometimes, man, a little bit off on qualifying, but he ends up just somehow making it up to the front. Justin Fuller right now doing pretty good. As you see your top guys, it's kind of in line. We'll go a little further back. Tommy Ryan here tonight. You got Jimmy Coleman still right there in the 10th place spot. Glenn Campbell still holding on 11th. He's still got Hollinsworth right there all over the back end of him. And Mike Kelly and them guys back there. Jose, last couple of weeks, already won 2 races this season. He's back in around there in the 16th place spot. So, yeah, like I said, you're back in those spots. It's just very hard to come through the field.
Yeah, especially when everyone kind of gets into that preferred line kind of right there in that middle-ish groove. As you can see, where pretty much everyone's running. And I feel like at this track, it's hard to have I guess you could say, standout speed.
Yeah.
So that being how we bring up frequently how difficult it is to pass places, because 1/10, 2/10 of a second a lap ain't going to do it for you. You're going to get there, but most of the time you're not going to close on
let's
that.
look at a lap time. You talk about lap times. The leader ran, and we got a new leader, matter of fact, Justin Fuller, and he's the one now kind of pulling off. He's about the fastest on the track, but he ran a 30.98 the last time, and all the way through the field. Just to give you an idea, all the way back to 26, 31.76. So it's not even a second splitting the field up. So that kind of tells you right there what you were talking about. I ain't going to see too many people coming, flying through the field here unless you're on just newer tires. Somebody else is on older tires. That'll change it up a little bit. But other than that, everybody's kind of just dead even driving.
Yeah, and that's I feel like that's pretty expected at shorter tracks. Everyone's just so good, and they, especially here in this group, this is a very well-rounded group of guys that we see week in and week out here. And like I was saying, you don't get that breakout speed at this short of a track.
No.
Because I'm right there with you. I think a mile and less is pretty much a short track. You know what I mean? And I'll say what Joe said. If you don't think so, then it's cool.
Yeah,
we're still cool.
There's nothing I can do. I've had the conversation a million times, and even real drivers have that conversation. Some think 0.75, some think a mile. I do not think a 1.5 mile is a super speedway that some people think. I think anything over 2 miles is. So I mean, I don't know how you. To me, those are intermediate style tracks, 1.5 miles. But anyways, right now you see Doey Woods. He's hanging on third place spot. He's working over Brian Macklin, and around about now, with about 14 laps in, yeah, you're going to start seeing the tires kind of fall off a little bit from the pace the way it were, and you'll probably start seeing these guys who are better on the long run, who know how to manage tires. And then you're going to start seeing the passes. It's not going to be like multiple car passes. You'll see maybe a car here, car there pass. You'll see these little clusters here and there. So let us know who your favorite driver is out there tonight.
Yeah, I think that because of the lack of banking, I feel like it's a little bit rougher on the tires because you're trying to carry that speed pretty much through a flat-ish corner, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think it's a little bit more rough, so I think you're spot on saying that we're probably going to be seeing that fall off here relatively soon, if we already haven't been seeing it a little bit. It looks like...
Well, the best times out were Justin Fuller at actually, I told you earlier, his best time was a 30.98. So they were running 30 seconds, low 31s. Now they're running a higher 31s, 31.9s, and I'm going to tell you what, 31.94 is what Justin ran all the way back to 25th to a 32.56. Man, that's just a little over a half a second splitting the whole field. And again, we talk about lap times. What it tells us is everybody's pretty even. To make a pass, it's going to be very difficult, and you're not going to see anybody just come blowing through the field unless they're on newer tires. Again, we go off of that. But, I know everybody's like, well, but look at the field. They're all split out. Well, yeah, that's because one guy in front of you is going fast. So over the course of time, they're going to get spread out. The thing about it is the lap times, nobody is just blistering up through the field. You don't even see Justin Fuller as fast as he is. You still see Brian Macklin back there. So he might be making a little distance on him, but it's not by much.
Right, and it looks like Josh Parker, too, had his hands full with David Comstock back there.
Yeah, they're racing.
Yeah, these guys are going kind of hard in the paint right here. David Comstock's been right there with him the last couple laps. He's been driving up in there, coming into 3 and 4 right here. And we'll see if he can get it done because he is ready to strike, pounce for that position.
We'll see how much he's working the wheel. Looks pretty smooth right there. Probably if he's going to get loose, he's going to come out of here. Not too bad, fighting a little bit. So he does a 1 and 2 here. He's going to diamond it off into that turn. He's wanting to stay real high. And he's kind of working the wheel a little bit, 1 and 2. Try to keep that car, and you saw it right there, get a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's getting a little loose coming off. So these guys are fighting the wheel just a little bit coming off. Going in's not too bad. It's just this track. You're right when you said earlier. It kind of shows. It's almost like a Martinsville, a big Martinsville that is. You drive it in the turn, but you're carrying so much speed on the straightaways here that you got to woe this thing down.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said it, because it's like the same thing. You're just like romping on it down this back stretch or front stretch, and then you got to woe that baby down to get through this turn in an efficient way, I'll say. So, I mean, it races the same. Let's see if he takes that look on the inside right now. It looks like he does. Looks like he's going to get the inside of him coming into 1 and 2 right here.
That's what you got to do. I mean, hopefully get that pass going into the middle, in the middle of the turn, because you don't want to get stuck on the outside of him coming off, because Josh would have probably had it there. I mean, you can see David probably was tick faster than Josh, but just getting around. And then Josh probably, in that situation, probably understood it and was like, there's no need to fight this early in the race. Maybe later in the race, he probably would have made it a little bit harder and wider for that car to get around him. But, this early, no need to abuse the tires. He saw David was a lot faster. And some guys just don't want you eating on their bumper like that lap after lap.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think he was just kind of like, oh, hey, yeah, you can go by right now. There's not really a need for me to do that. Tommy Ryan right here.
Tommy doing good. They're in 8th place. Just a little spread out right there. We go back in 11th place spot. Kind of getting a little spread out through the field. Glenn Campbell still falling off just a little bit. Hate to see that. He's back there in 13th. Jose's up to the 14th spot. Mike Kelly now, who was coming up to the field, back there in 15th right now. You got Michael Smith. Nice looking machine he's got here. And go a little bit further on back there around 20th place. That's going to put Anthony Calatoni and Jeff Ryan going to go door to door.
That looks like a Dale Earnhardt car.
That is. And I thought I saw somebody go off the track back there, but maybe not. Jeff Wilco's got up in the wall a little bit. Steve Herring and company, but yeah, that's I don't know which one's in it. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff Ryan. Get that throwback machine.
Ooh, yeah, I'm looking at my diecast right there. Same car, pretty much. Looks good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, right now, he's back there. He's got a good battle going on with old Calatoni. Trying to see what he can get done here on his inside. Just not been able to. Those two guys are at each other.
Yeah, it looks like these guys have been going at it for quite a few. I've been looking on the ticker. These guys have been pretty close for a decent amount of time, so...
Right now, still Macklin and Fuller still leading. Macklin there in second. Dowie Woods up there in third. Ryan Howard hanging on there to the 4th place. And then David Comstock's moving up through the field last lap. He was fast, a little bit faster than the leader. But when I say a little bit, I mean we're only talking half a tenth, couple hundredths. It's not a lot, folks.
Yeah, in that case, usually I say progress is progress, but then again, I go to you're not going to pass someone with that, with that 500ths of a second a lap. You're not going to pass someone.
You can get to them, but the passing, the passing's going to be
tenths quicker.
Yeah, you can get to them. That passing's just going to be the Achilles heel of it. I mean, right there. So. And these guys up front, the top 5, it's kind of weird because, last time Fuller ran a 32.19 and Comstock ran a 32.24, but then the time before, Comstock was faster, some of the other guys were fast. It seems like these top 5 were kind of just one lap, one of them's faster, a couple of them's faster than another lap, the other one's faster. So they're kind of like, they'll gain something one lap, fall off the next, and that's what's keeping them so dead even right now.
Yeah, they're just kind of flip-flopping, and I feel like this is kind of, it's definitely not as technical as a road course, obviously, but I still feel like this is kind of a technical track just because of the lack of banking, and you got to hit those marks to make those good lap times and save those tires at the same time, and, just kind of keep everything under you without overshooting something or going too fast out of something. You got to slow down mid-turn because you're shooting up the track or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of technical.
What's up, Waylon? Waylon Lamb Ham out there. I haven't heard you or seen you in a long time. What's going on, man? I appreciate the stars out there, by the way. That's awesome. Where you been at lately? I've watched a couple of you posts out there. No, I haven't seen you race. You still racing or anything? I know. Waylon out there, if you didn't know there, Alex, he's been in the booth a couple times with me in the past couple of years, and used to race a lot, been in a lot of leagues, different leagues and stuff. Used to race the Xfinity car a lot, and a couple of the Cup cars, so good to see you, old Waylon, out there. It's awesome. And I think he's an expiring rapper, too. I think I've heard one of his songs. Actually, it's not too bad.
Well, greetings, sir.
Absolutely.
I would like to hear said rap.
The only thing I can tell you is go out there on Facebook and check out Waylon Lamb. Lamn. I think it is. Lamnm, I believe. I can't read it on the short screen over here, but yeah. Anyways, I forgot what his what he goes by on his rap name though.
We'll get to the bottom of it later.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it. So, maybe if he lets me, if he has one a cool rap song, man, about racing or something, man, we can use it as if we give me permission, we can use it as a front style song for the broadcast to start.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, there you go.
Feature.
There you go,
Nice.
Waylon. Yeah, there you go, right, Waylon. Well, still good race. You got Randy Yoakum hanging on 11th. Jimmy Coleman. You got, actually, that's Hollinsworth. My bad. Hollinsworth there behind him. That's another newcomer here to the league, Hollinsworth. He has actually done quite well. Been really fast, competitive. Just had some bad luck the last couple races.
Is he the one that came over from the dirt side?
That was Lance Ripka. I have not seen Lance. Yep. Well, unfortunately, Lance. But there he is. Which looks like Lance has had some issues. And Lance actually races on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I know on Wednesdays. I don't know if I think he does Thursday, but not sure. But anyways, he comes from the dirt side of the wing sprints of iRacing. So I know it's and he's got Spartan Racing Team on the back. I know who that is. That's Kyle Parker's team and stuff. But to me, that's you come from dirt to asphalt. That is a apples oranges night to day transition to do. Now, I have seen, on the flip side of that, I have seen a lot of guys go from asphalt to dirt and do well, because I feel like, and I'll just give my opinion on that one, the reason why they might do so well is because obviously over here on the asphalt side, you're not sideways every turn. You know, you're not trying to hold that thing to the right and trying to hang on to it. You know, yeah, I mean, you've got to learn how to drive the car and stuff here and whatnot. So when you go over to the dirt side, then you're just learning a whole new thing of how to hold it wide sideways and everything else. And, you know, you run into those turns to kick that car sideways. To try to reverse that, though, I feel like would be a lot harder. If you're always used to just running into the turns, kicking her sideways, that would be a habit to me on asphalt that would be hard to kick. But like I said, on the flip side, to me, I'm not going to say it's easy, but for lack of a better word, it would be easier or I know easier is a bad word to use, but I don't know. Smoother, yeah, to get in here and you know, to know, hey, look, I'm always used to controlling the car, and then now I got to go over here, control it and slide it, and it's just something new to add on instead of trying to break a habit. You know, you're adding on a habit, basically, is kind of what I'm saying in a long ramble there. But anyways, Lance Ripka right now looks like he got in some trouble earlier.
I think earlier when we were on the leaders, I thought I saw a car coming, riding low under the line on the inside of the going off the backstretch into turn 3 and 4.
Might have been him, because it looks like, yeah, because they pitted on lap 1. Him and Joseph Burgers pitted, and yeah. Now we should be getting close to this pit stop time here. Remember we said lap 50, I mean 100. These guys go 100% fuel. They definitely could go more than 50 laps here. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see some guys going 65, maybe even 70. The problem with that is this thing being green flag, and we've talked about this before here, Alex, and see Mike Kelly's already in. And see, now that tells me too that if guys are short pitting like they are right now, which is probably what you need to do if you're in the back, make some ground up. And whoa, Dowie Woods comes out of the turn. Talking about dirt tracking right there. Wow. But here's the thing. I think you could go 70 laps, 65, 70 laps. If you're pitting right now at lap 42, obviously you know you could go to 60 lap mark, because that would have been lap 40. What you're going to do is try to utilize the new tires is what you do. But you don't want to, if you're starting to lose ground, like we see right here with Dowie Woods, he's 3 seconds behind Fuller. he's not going to make up any ground if he comes in the same time as Fuller, because both of them will be on new tires. Matter of fact, he might even lose some ground, as you see David Comstock's going to take that spot away from him. But you got to think about that. One, having enough time to catch him, and we've already seen in this race right now, the way the pace is going, it's very hard to catch someone.
And going off of that, Joe, I don't know where it came from the last couple laps, but Brian Macklin is up there with Justin Fuller. I've been seeing it as we get off the turn and we look up the stretch. He's been up here.
Tire fall off.
Banging with him.
I mean, and maybe that was Macklin's plan. Hey, look, because, I've always talked about Justin Fuller. He's got that one mode wide open. He's a very aggressive style driver. He's trying to work on, being, working on the long run stuff. But he is really a guy who really loves just running that car hard. And Macklin probably understands that because they've raced each other for a very, very long time. And probably early on was like, hey, look, go ahead, Fuller. I'll let you, go. And I'll sit back here. And no one is feeling it might be a long green flag run. He didn't let him get too far out. And so he was able to stay there. And that's maybe kind of what's helping right now.
I mean, he's definitely, Fuller was about almost to a second lead over them.
Yeah, that's only half a second now.
Brian Macklin right here with him. Going, hey, you ain't got rid of me yet. No. I mean, they separated themselves a little bit, or I'd say a lot bit, from third place David Comstock and back by Dory Woods and all that, but... Yeah,
but this is where Macklin wants to be. Even if he doesn't get around Fuller, this is where he wants to be with Fuller, because he's close enough that when Fuller comes into a pit, or if Macklin can time this right, pit one lap ahead of Fuller, maybe leapfrog him, get out front, and especially if they're going to try to take this thing to maybe, let's say, lap 60, 65. On newer tires. I mean, we see guys coming in right now, but if they're going to try to take it out that far, then Macklin might try that. Come in one lap early.
Yeah, he could. See,
what's that word you like using all the time?
Chess match.
There you go.
I had to think about it for a second because I was like, I say a lot of words.
Yeah, Ryan Howard, Tommy Ryan's in too. Hollinsworth's in.
Tommy Ryan's been coming up too. He was up there behind Howard. He was up to 5th place right there.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
And there'll be no question everybody will take 4 tires. So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no way you're going to come out here and take 2 tires. That would be a death sentence on the track. If this was a caution fest race, maybe I would say you might try, but obviously the way this race is going, and again, here comes Dory Wood, Steve Ritter, Randy Yoakum in, so that's lap 50 mark there. So, but basically, in a nutshell, the one thing about this league here at Sim500, we know a lot of is that they can definitely go long green flag runs, if not flag to flag.
Yeah, I think it's a very
competitive.
Yeah, I'll put it that way. It's pretty gnarly stuff.
Yeah,
I think this is pretty good stuff we see
now,
here.
You want to talk about tires? We were talking about tires. Here is Kevin Brown ran a 3086 to Justin Fuller's 3260. So you can see the tire fall off. Just how significant the difference is. And that's the only way you're going to see guys coming through the field passing a lot. So, that's well over 2 seconds. About right at 2 seconds anyways. And that's a lot on the track. So you can definitely tell those new tires are going to play a factor. And that's what I'm saying with Brian Macklin. Does he come in a lap early, or does he let Justin Fuller go in and then he comes in a lap later? Well, I tell you, being Fuller and Macklin at this point, I'd almost probably want to come in with the leader. because it would be a guessing game. Do I come in before or after?
I think, personally, this is me, I think he stays out an extra lap or two.
Okay. Because you're going to go a lap down when you make that pit stop. You can see Ryan Howard right here is going to work and get his lap back. And you can just see how much faster he is on those newer tires. And here comes, looks like Tommy Ryan back there on newer tires. So you could just see how much faster the closing rate is with the newer tires. And this is where it gets a little dangerous because, even though you're the leader, and a lot of times the leader is always the one with lap cars having, they need to get out of the way or whatever. But here's where the leaders are really like, well, these guys are way faster. We need to let them go. There's no way I can battle with them. And this is where the leader, Justin Fuller, needs to watch out because these guys want back on the lead lap. And Justin needs pretty much to say, okay, go. Get on. You know what I mean?
Go on, get.
Yeah, pretty much. And Macklin lost a little bit of ground on that because he let a couple of them go, which was smart on his end. But, and normally I'd be like, hey, look, lap traffic, they easily move up or move out, stay in their lane out the way of the leader. But not when they're running a second and a half faster. And it's time for the leader to understand, don't want to wreck. You're leading this race and you're clean right now.
Yeah, that would be take a one-way ticket to Heartbreak Hotel. Elvis Presley's at the desk waiting for you.
And we've seen that. We have seen it before. Your heartbreak right there and whatnot. You see Kevin Brown coming into the picture again. He's the first car on lead lap or one down. He ran out 31.40 and Fuller's in, and Macklin's going to do what you said. Stay out one more lap. Hopefully one more lap. He might stay out a couple. We'll see. But this is beneficial to him. We'll have to see because this is going to spread the lead out.
It absolutely could. We'll see how this works out with him. Looks like David Comstock just goes by him on those new tires.
Oh, yeah.
Get his lap back.
I'm going to say don't stay out too long because with them guys making up that much ground, you don't want to just stay out there because now you're just bleeding time. And, it really is not going to benefit you at all because at this point, the longer you stay out, the more time that you're taking away to get back to or have to try to catch him. If, let's say, Justin does go by him, it could be a second lead or more. And, if that's the case, then boom. And then you see, I think here comes Macklin now. Yes, that's smart on his end. You do not want to stay out there that long with those guys, man, just tearing up the track.
Yeah, now like you said, Joe, he's going to come down now.
Ryan Howard's going to be the one, man, that's going to benefit from this one here hugely because he's going to come out. Remember, he pitted at lap 48. He's going to take the lead here. And here's the thing. We talk about, do you have enough time? There's about 4.5 seconds between Fuller and Ryan Howard. Yes, Fuller is faster by not quite a second, but right at it. It's going to depend on how Fuller gets through this traffic. So, maybe those earlier pit stops might work out.
And I think history speaking here, I'm pretty sure Ryan Howard is pretty good at that, maintaining game. It looks like he's getting.
Look who's behind him, though. Joey Woods.
And Tommy Ryan's right there lurking, too.
What did he say last week? He said, that's the bottom line. Because he said so.
I'm here to prove to everybody that I'm the best. And here he is battling for the lead.
That's it. He's taking the lead. Lord of mercy, we won't shut him up if he wins the race. We'll be here all night. Joey Wood takes over the lead. Well, he doesn't take over the lead yet. Josh Parker's still yet to pit. So, and I'm not. With 12 seconds ahead, I'm not quite sure what Parker's waiting on because really right here, I'm going to go out on a limb you're pretty much running yourself into the because you're going to lose the lead. You're going to go a lap down, probably 2. And the problem with this is you're pretty much getting into territory now, just not having enough time to get the space back on the track. Even though you will be much faster with newer tires than everybody, it's just you're actually now you're kind of eating into it. But yeah, Doey Woods eventually will, and here comes Parker in the pit. So now Doey Woods will take the lead, and like I said, Lord of mercy, if he wins, he'll be
Get that guy a muzzle.
yeah, he's gonna be up here, man, talking about clotheslining somebody on the track next.
I told you last week.
That's it. I can hear it now. I told you last week I was coming up here winning it. Brian Howard right behind him. Tommy Ryan having a good run there. He's up in the well, I was saying third, but here comes Justin Fuller. Now here's where the thing is, because now, remember when I talked about that gap? Justin Fuller's utilizing those tires huge, like and that gap's
Wide
now to a
open.
second. So Doey knows that, and Justin's, he's got way fresher tires. This right here might actually benefit. You know what? Huh. Go back on Josh Parker's pit stop a minute here, because Parker only had a 10-second pit stop. That tells me he took 2 tires.
Or he put his pit crew on HGH.
Or on steroids, you're right. Let's see. Watch it. Takes right side.
The can of Sunoco fuel, and
Yep, 2 tires.
there he
That's
goes.
it. It's now I'm not going to question it, but then again, it will make him faster, but he's not much faster than Justin Fuller. Fuller still running 3160s to 3120. I think pretty much pit strategy wise has hurt Parker right now. And now you start to see all these guys with the newer tires come up through the field, and this is the only way you're going to see guys making a lot of passes. As a lot of these guys, pitted at lap 53, 58. Now they're on the newer tires, and now you're seeing a little bit of passing up front.
yeah, that's kind of what. But do you think that tire fall off? And because when did Justin Fuller pit? Like 53, 54?
Justin Fuller, he pitted at 56.
So you think those 8-lap newer tires are that much of a difference?
Not just 2, because the left tires are eventually, obviously the same. I'm looking at the lap times here. Justin's running 3150s right now to Parker's 3126. So, I mean, that tells you right there, and I don't know if Parker's in lap traffic or not. That could, it's not, he's out in the open too, and so is, but Justin's in traffic. So, but that tells you right there that there's just not that much. Now, 4 tires, yeah, Parker would have been it. But the problem is Parker would have probably went down 2 laps. So not sure of the pit strategy there on his end, but nonetheless, Doey Woods right behind him. David Comstock on the newest tires. He's probably going to be able to run down Doey here pretty soon. And you're probably going to see the likes of Brian Macklin here, who is actually pitted at lap 58. And Ryan Howard, Tommy Ryan pitted at lap 48. So, 10 lap tires. Yeah. Because last lap, Macklin ran a 31.48 to a 32.16. So that's a pretty, you talk about passing, that's what you need to just blow them by and pass.
Yeah, that qualifies.
Yeah, it does. It does. And we saw it right there. It just went right by Tommy Ryan. And as the run goes on, Macklin probably can, I'm going to say he's going to get to the top 3. I think Doey right now is hoping this race would end and get over with. But really, well, that hit hurt. I don't know if y'all heard that, but my youngest one came around the corner and tried to do a baseball slide. The dogs love him because I think he brought some of his Yeti on the floor. So there we go. Comstock takes over second. So gotta love him. You never know what happens on live broadcast, folks. So, and you can see right here, yeah, Brian Macklin's probably going to make short work here at Doey Woods. So unfortunately, we might not get to hear from Doey Woods this week. But he did make a valiant effort to get up front, though.
He was for some part of it, so looks like Brian Macklin's going to make quick
still,
work
either way,
him,
it's a good finish. I mean, he was top 3 last week. He's came out here now. He's still going to come out here with a good finish. Probably maybe with a top 5 or whatnot. So he's doing what he said he needed to do for a guy that's been off. He's coming out here showing what he can get done.
Yeah, he's making it rumble. Here he's got David Comstock right in front of him. Let's see. Now, if he gets out in the open in front of Comstock, if he can make
Comstock pitted on 53. Macklin pitted on 58. The difference in tires, see, here's the thing with lap times, 31.94 to 32 flat. He can get there on him as probably his back bumper, probably harass him for a while. But, well, I said he couldn't get around him, but never mind. Here he goes. Let's see. Let's see if he's going to be able to make the pass. If I was Comstock, I'd probably try to hold him down there as long as I can, because the longer he holds him down there, the more wear he puts on those tires. He just has that huge drive in the turn. Yep, nothing he can do.
the inevitable.
Yeah. He tried holding him down there, but it's just that drive in the turn with those newer tires. And now we're going to see, as we're back to Macklin and Fuller back up front, does Macklin have enough? Because, see, what I talked about before, remember that gap between the two wasn't that bad? But I said it was going to be worse. Now it's 3 seconds as opposed to it was only, what, a half second or so before they pitted. Almost 4 seconds now.
Yeah, we'll see. 25 laps to go.
Yeah, I think laps are just going to wind down on Macklin. That's why it's just always hard to guess when to come into pits and when not to.
I mean, we'll see, because maybe, because like we've talked about before, Justin Fuller is usually just wide open. Maybe he just used up a little bit too much too early to get through all the traffic. And
true, because just that time right there, Fuller, which I mean he is going through some light traffic around 3204 to 3193, but going passing a car too. So keep an eye on it here as we got kind of a 3-car battle happening here between Woods, Howard, and Ryan. That's 4th, 5th, and 6th place spot.
It looks like that's the hot battle of the night for around that position. I remember last week it was like to crack the top 10. We had like 3, 4, 5 cars the whole race.
And see right here, all these guys are on pretty much the same amount of tires, pitted, well, 48, 48, and 49. So you might as well say it's right there. You see Howard, he's the one with the 1 lap newer than all these guys. So we'll see if it's going to pay dividends right here as he tries to go around Woods.
I think he's just going to try and bully his way under him. Kind of just make it work. Looks like Dorwood just kind of
Woods got to worry about Ryan right there, too.
He's going to bring him with him.
Yes, that's what Dowie didn't want to happen, was stay on that outside too long, and then the next thing you knew, Tommy Ryan's going to just kind of drive down. And you see that car just slide up the track. That's what you battle with at this place. If you get too much speed going to turn, it wants to push. It's not a, excuse me, it's not some of the drivers might say different, but from what I feel, it's not really like a loose. That car just wants to keep going straight to the wall, and you have to low it up, kind of back these turns. Now, you can get loose coming off these turns really huge, like right there. Perfect example. So, Ryan Howard, dirt track. Absolutely. And who is that in the back right there? That's nope, that's a lap car behind them there, probably on a newer set of tires. It's the 01 of
Smith.
Michael Smith. The first car lap down, by the way. So. But yeah, you got Hollinsworth hanging on the 7th. Remember, he's been out there all night long, so not bad with him.
Yeah, here he is. That's nice. Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, absolutely. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. If you like shares out there, folks, in the league, appreciate it. Go check out the Sim500 down on Facebook. Check out OSR Network on Facebook, and here to YouTube. As we got then, check out Ford Entertainment Group too. If you're looking for a great PC or any sim equipment, your Ford Entertainment Group will definitely get you fixed up. I know he sponsors a multitude of leagues and whatnot. So definitely something. And actually, in this one, they're giving away a free PC to the champion. So there you go.
Incentivizing the championship.
Absolutely. And one thing I like about this one here. Now let me look it up first. Well, I tell wrong information. I won't tell wrong. Let me see here right fast. Go to sim500.com, folks. Check out all the information too, by the way, on all the leagues. They got a multitude of series. So, okay. All right. Prizes. Driver who qualifies for the round of 8 will be eligible for the new custom Ford entertainment computer. All 8 drivers will be entered into a drawing for a chance to win it. The final 4 drivers will receive a custom trophy. So if you make it to the round of 8, then they're going to put it. That's kind of cool. Put it in a drawing. So actually, all these guys could be eligible to do it and whatnot. Now, not just so much in this series. But and we talk about series standings. Let's just real quick. We'll click on it again. You can find all this information over on sim500.com. Right now, Scott Simley is holding down the top spot with Robert Gillenwater in second, Mike Kelly third, Daniel Falkenham in fourth. Even with 5 wins, and Daniel Falkenham, wow, only in fifth. Jimmy Coleman fifth, Glenn Campbell in sixth, Chad Coleman in seventh, Tommy Ryan eighth, Jose Gonzalez there in ninth, and Ryan Howard 10th. And then it just goes back to what I've always said: wins don't translate into championships. Let me see what's. And one of the reasons is, obviously, Scott has got 18 starts. Daniels has 15, so he's missed 3 races. Now, they do have some drop weeks here that you're allowed to use. I think it's 2. I'd have to go back and read the rule book that you're allowed to use. So, even though with 5 wins from Daniel Falkenham, and again, here tonight, too, he's not out here. So, it's another race. Daniel could easily be in this points race hunt.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through it too. See if I can keep up with you.
Yeah.
But it looks like I was a little too far behind.
Well, it's just right there. I mean, just go to Sim500, click on the Ford Entertainment one, and go to see the series standings. It'll bring it up, Dan, Lisa. And it'll show you. But like I said, you got 5 wins from Falkenham. 1 for Mike Kelly, who has got 18. Robert Gillenwater was 17, but those top 10s, if you look at that, he's got 14 of them. So consistency, and then obviously, Simley with 13, top 10s, 3 top 5s. That consistency has paid huge for him right there, the top 2. So, but I mean, they got a multitude of series here in the Sim5. If you go to like their Monday night series, the Trans Service Cup series, which is pretty much their premier series, it's their biggest payout series. Your top 8 guys get $400 on a trophy for the top, for the champion. All the way to the top 8 get 60, but they also give something for 17th on back, even if you don't make the chase. So kind of incentive to keep going and whatnot. So Yeah, not bad.
Not too shabby.
Nope.
I kind of like that, how they set that up. Top 4 get a custom trophy. All top 8 that qualify can be entered into the drawing for that new PC, which is that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
But the laps are ticking down. I don't think Brian Macklin's going to catch Mr. Fuller up front. Ten laps to go. I don't think he can make it up. He's got too much time. Not enough time to really reel him in. Unless he gets really caught on something coming up here in front of him.
Yeah, it's all Justin Fuller right now. Out front, he's got a 3-second lead over Macklin, and just time's running away. You got David Comstock right there in third, and still got these two guys, man, battling back here.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan. I feel like we haven't seen Tommy in the last couple weeks. Here he is battling for a top 4 spot right now with Ryan Howard. These guys have been going at it for quite a bit. We're just rolling together around the track right now. See if Tommy can keep him close and not let him get too far ahead to where he can't make a move on him or something. So I feel like a bump and run can definitely be used here if you do it the right way.
You bring that up. We haven't really brought it up. You bring that up because this track, is small enough for it. I mean, yeah, you got some speed, but yeah. Anyways,
and I think right there, going into 1 and 2 right there, it looked like Ryan Howard just overshot a little bit. Looked like he locked up those tires trying to slow it down a little bit, and Tommy Ryan was able to get on the inside and kind of make that pass happen, as now he's in front of him. But I don't know if Ryan Howard's quite done yet.
Caution out. Oh,
wow. My goodness.
This will mix it up some here. Now, remember, Brian Macklin is probably going, yes. Randy Yoakum. Boy, I tell you what, this really... And you see right there, Randy just got clipped coming out of the turn there. Kind of got tangled up with someone else. And roundabout, wow, talk about the whole entire race there in the caution with about 6 to go. Going to put us close to a green-white checkered. But I tell you, now, do you pit? Here's your question. I mean, if you're back in, let's say, 15th spot, why not? Because the worst you're going to come out is about 19th or so. And never mind, here comes Fuller coming. Here comes
what just happened is kind of what I figured was going to happen.
If the leader comes, everybody comes, except for a couple. Tommy Ryan, Ryan Howard stayed out, which... Here's the problem with that. Now, well, yeah, I was about to say here the problem with that was if somebody else stayed out with them. And I think the only ones who stayed out, well, Michael Smith, Glenn Campbell, and all those guys were lapped down. So,
Doy Woods took 2 tires.
That could be a smart move.
I think so, unless he just got a really fast pit stop. Because he came in behind those guys a good chunk.
Yep.
Oh, he might not be done yet.
He might not, and this is probably what he needs, because here's the thing. These guys back here are going to be much faster than Ryan, Tommy, Ryan, and Ryan Howard. And there's a couple scenarios that can play out here. Tommy and Ryan know at this point, one, don't want to sprint the tires, and they could be sitting ducks where they are. Everybody came in. They would have loved to have seen at least 3 or 4 more cars stayed out with them. If they would have, then that would have put Justin Fuller and them in a bad situation. You got Brian Macklin, who beat Justin Fuller out of the pits. That's huge. But they're still going to be right there. They're not going to... nope, they're not going to be side by side. You got David Comstock back there, Kevin Brown, all these guys are going to be aggressive. So, if Woods can get a good start and get around Ryan and Howard, okay, let's go scenario 1 here. Let's throw it out. If he can get around those guys and Fuller and them get caught up behind them and he can move away fast enough, Fuller and them might run out of time catching him. Okay? Now, problem is if he does not get around Howard and Ryan and gets caught battling back here with Fuller and them, it's just not going to end well because they're just going to blow right by him. So really, Woods is playing off of, I got to get around the top 2 guys as quick as I can and hope they hold up Macklin, Fuller, and all those. Because you know those guys on 4 tires are just going to blister this track. And then we could also have a big pilot. You get that one in there too. So
we could. So it looks like it is going to be a green-white checkered here. I think Doyle Woods is going to do everything he can as quick as he can to separate himself from those guys that took 4 tires behind him.
Yep, you're right.
That's exactly what he needs to do.
I mean, because if he doesn't, and he gets caught up back there behind him, Macklin and Fuller's going to make quick work of him. Now, again, Tommy Ryan's out front thinking, hey man, if I can just get out front, because he's got the leader's advantage here as we're getting set to go back green. If he can get out front in front of these guys, and maybe those guys get hung up, problem is he's going to have Macklin on the outside, so it's just really, Macklin's going to make short work of Howard right here. Easily. So, yeah, and you just see right there was just no... I mean, you saw Doyle Woods, he did fly it in there. I mean, Howard just has no choice. These top 5 guys are just going to be going for it. We got a race.
Do they make it back to the stripe for the check for the white flag? Or because Justin Fuller coming inside Doyle Woods right here. Macklin and Comstock sailed
3
past.
wide. Fuller's got the tires to hold it 3 wide right there. And we're going to take the white flag. Doesn't matter what happens now. The top 3, Macklin out front, Comstock there in second, but boy, look at Fuller. He knows he's got to go, and Howard might get in the back of him. Kevin Brown's crashing. Whoa, Joey Woods is around. He spun it. Then he got just tailgated right down the back end. As Brian Macklin, that's a huge pile up back there, by the way, but Macklin coming out of turn 4 is going to win this one. Comstock's going to hang on to second and Fuller
Josh
there in
Parker
third.
came in 4th.
Wow. What a wild one. What a wild one.
Yeehaw. He came out of nowhere. Like I keep saying. Golly.
Good run. Brian
finish.
Macklin, man, right there. It was a good finish. You're right. That's kind of what we thought was going to happen. I mean, you got all those guys on new tires. They were all bunched up there at the end, trying to go for the lead. And it pretty much just chaos ensued from there.
It was controlled chaos. They at least got the white flag.
That is true. Then we got the white flag, and in that way, yeah, they kill themselves on the track. I always say it.
Do whatever they want now.
That's right. There you go. I'll see if we can't get some of these guys up here. Macklin, we got Comstock. Macklin says he's just not even going to do a burnout. He's just going to
Take this thing to the pits.
park it.
Do a burnout across everyone's pit box. Backwards.
If we can't get, I'm trying to find the other guys here. Okay, here we go. All right, let's bring up third place man, Justin Fuller. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Justin, it's Alex up at the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, so coming in here to New Hampshire, the Magic Mile, leading most of the race. You come out. Let me hear what ran through your head once that caution dropped with 7 to go.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
Well, I want to hear what was running through your head when that caution dropped, 7 laps to go. You got that big lead, man. You're cruising, race is yours, and you come in, caution, 7 laps to go.
Well, I mean, after watching the replay after the race here, it's not surprising what the yellow was. It's pretty dumb, so expect nothing less there. It's unfortunate. Best car didn't win tonight, which is a shame. Macklin was fast too. So I mean, it's not like somebody non-deserving didn't win. So congrats to him. But it just sucks. Won the truck race here on Wednesday night. Was poised to win this one, and also looking forward to the Cup race tomorrow too. This is probably one of my favorite tracks. One of my better tracks too. So I don't race this series full time. I'm only here for wins in the series, and that's what we were gonna do. And came up third.
Well, like you said, this is one of your better tracks, and definitely showed. You're out front majority of the night. Definitely got a quick car. I thought Macklin was going to be pretty good off the rip, and then you kind of overtook him and kind of separated yourself a little bit. Got a little bit of space going on, and then those pit cycles happened, and you ended up coming out with a even bigger lead on the tail end of that. And so let me run through your head again on that restart, the green-white checkered. What was your plan to get up front?
Try and go where the cars without tires weren't, and I went exactly where Ryan Howard was. So I knew when Tommy took the top that Brian was going to win that race. Brian and I are teammates, and I told him right in TeamSpeak I could win. So he was going to be clear. I had too many cars to have to deal with there to try and get by him. So he had one car basically to deal with where I had 3. So it's just a shame. I get their strategy to stay out. I'm not mad at those guys. Those guys they're trying to win the race too. So they weren't going to win it by taking tires with us. It just sucks. I was really looking forward to this race, and to have it taken away like that, it kind of hurts.
Well, you can still go for 2 out of the 3 series. Like you said, you got that truck race won here the other night, and you're looking forward to the Cup race here. So let's see if you can get 2 out of the 3 at least. I mean, you're coming in here 3rd place. Definitely not bad. Still podium finish. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this awesome, exciting race here tonight, man?
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow night's not going to be any easy race by any means either. There's a lot more talent in that field tomorrow night, so it's going to be a lot harder. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, Sim500, all the admins for what they do. Thank Ford Entertainment Group. I think they're sponsoring this series, so thank them. Thank Personal Comfort with Scott Stenzel. I know I don't really have a sponsor on this car, but he's my main sponsor on pretty much everything else. So send a shout out to him. Send a shout out to everybody that watched the race tonight. Send a shout out to my dad. I know he watched. Yeah, send a shout out to everybody in the race. That was a good, clean race. Except for that caution, that was pretty dumb still. But yeah, we had fun. I guess that's all that matters.
It looked like a fun race, man, and definitely came out here dominant fashion, coming in with a 3rd place finish here. Congratulations again, man. Looking forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks. Have a good one.
There we go, fast man Justin Fuller right there. Like you said, coming home just a little bit disappointing. You can hear it there, but hey, come home in 3rd. This man David Comstock rumbling through the field, coming home here in 2nd.
David Comstock, Alex up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, so looks like to me you might have had the best long run car of the night.
Nah.
You think I'm wrong on that?
Yeah, you're wrong.
What? How could you say that?
I just didn't feel like I can match on the long run, but I mean, I was inconsistent, so I didn't feel like I was good enough for it to be considered a long run. Yeah, I just didn't have the get up and go first half of the run. I needed the tires to set in. Car was on the splitter on new tires, so I just needed more consistency, and it was pretty fun on old tires, power sliding off the corners. I love this track.
Well, I mean, man, you look pretty strong on the long runs to me, as I'm tripping over my own tongue over here. But all right, so you're rolling there. Caution comes out, 7 to go. What's running through your head, man?
I really, really wanted to stay out. I wanted to do it like Tommy and Ryan did and just gamble and hope that we just get a bunch of yellows and then you can keep your track position and run it to the end. But it was the right call to come in and take tires. I was like talking with my teammates. I'm just like, you guys want to stay out? Let's just do it. Let's just stay out. And then I'm just like, never mind. I bitched out. I pitted. Which, like you saw, it was the move to make, the correct move, and just being in the right lane, knifing your way through on that restart there was pretty fun. It was real good respect amongst everybody, not running over top of one another. Between there's guys that had 2 tires, we had 4 tires, no tires. So that was a good run to the end, to the finish. Congrats to Brian on the win.
Yeah, man, it was super exciting up here from where we were looking at. We were just like, whoa, all this stuff was happening at once. It was super exciting.
Yeah.
And that caution dropped. We were like, oh, that changes things a little bit. And I mean, like you said, you kind of knifed through pretty well, and it looked like Mr. Macklin made his way through a little bit sooner than you did. Anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this second place finish here tonight at New Hampshire?
Yeah, I would like to thank Sim500 admins that run the league, and Joey, that head admin that runs it, for putting all the series that we all get to race here on a weekly basis. FEG for supporting Sunday nights here with us, and all my teammates at Team Name, sponsors in the car, Moss Energy, and appreciate you guys for broadcasting. Thank you.
Well, man, you put some of that Monster Energy fuel in the car and came up here from, you were 3rd place when the caution dropped, and you came out, 5th at the restart, and you came up here 2nd place, man. Congratulations. Looking forward to talking to you soon, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
There we go, David Constock. Like I said, man's got the monster machine out there. Came up home in 2nd. All right, let's bring up Brian Macklin. Brian, Joey in the booth, got a copy. Brian, Joey in the booth, got a copy.
Yes, sir. You guys got me?
Yeah, I got you, man. I'll tell you, at first you started out great. Here comes Justin Fuller blowing right by you. Looked like you were going to be right there. The first pit stop, though, cycle, did you mean to stay out as long as you did? Because you lost a lot of ground on that cycle.
I definitely wanted to stay out at least 1 lap longer than Justin because I wanted to try to get the advantage on tires, but I got caught up in all the traffic from the guys that were on fresh tires, and it didn't allow me to get to the bottom of the pit when I wanted to, so I had to go 2 laps longer, which, that hurt me a lot. And I really didn't think I was going to lose that much time, though. I thought I'd still have a shot at him, but I gave up so much time between fighting with the lap traffic and whatnot. I couldn't get back there, and then the tires leveled off. So I got lucky with that late caution, though. That definitely gave us another shot at it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I know, when that caution came out, I knew the one person who did not want to see it was Justin Fuller, because he had that lead, and you could tell he was disappointed by it. It's just one of them things in racing. But I'd have to say you probably was the one that was glad about it, because that puts you right there. Now, the thing about it is, though, you beat Fuller out of the pits on the when y'all went through your pit cycle to get tires. What was going through your mind on the restart?
Well, honestly, beating him out of the pits right there is what won me the race, because it gave me the outside line, and then Tommy took the outside line, so I was right behind him when we went back green. And honestly, even if Tommy had taken the bottom, I feel like I would have been in a better spot, just because Fuller was going to line up behind 2 guys that were on either older tires or 2 tires where I wasn't. And it just kind of worked out. But yeah, I knew I had a shot at it. I just had to get through turns 1 and 2 as quickly as I could, because I knew that David and Fuller and Doy and all those guys, they were going to be charging as hard as they could, just like I was. And I needed to be the first one through the traffic and get to the clean air. And once I got there, I felt pretty good. But, man, David made a little bit of a charge there at the end. I thought maybe he was going to have something for me.
Absolutely. He came through the field. Like I said, man, Comstock was fast. Fuller was fast there. I believe if it had been a couple more laps, been kind of interesting between you 3 there. But nonetheless, a wild one here tonight. It was a good race from flag to flag here at New Hampshire. You got anybody you want to thank for the win?
Yeah, I got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's awesome to go back and watch these things. You guys do a great job. I got to thank all the sponsors here at Sim500, because without them, we can't do what we do. Got to thank the American Lung Association. I've been working with this car for a while now, and I am working on a little project that I'm going to be doing this fall to kind of try to send some money their way, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I think that's everybody. It was a good race.
Nice. I tell you what, it's always good to do some good charity work out there. As always, Brian Macklin bringing it home tonight. Again, congratulations, Brian.
All right, you guys have a good one. Talk to you later.
There we go, Brian Macklin. Well, I tell you what, man, Alex, what a race it was. I mean, it almost went flag to flag. Had a good green-white checkered there at the end. So some good, exciting pit strategies, good battles up front. Got any final words?
Nah, man. I mean, this was a super exciting race, especially the finish there. I mean, like, who said it? David Comstock said you got guys with no new tires, then 2 new tires, and then 4 new tires, and it was just a big mumbo jumbo finish there at the end. Definitely exciting. Great stuff to see here in New Hampshire tonight with this series, man.
No doubt. Well, folks, tell you what, we're going to leave New Hampshire here for the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Myself and everyone, have a good night.